What is up, guys? My name is Mark Santamaria. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another episode of Mark's Garage. Today on Mark's Garage, I'm going to show you guys the Traxxas Rustler 4x4. In this case, it's the VXL. So I actually bought this car from NDRC World in Garland, Texas. This was the demo car. So when Traxxas releases new vehicles, they throw this big orange tag on it. It's called the display or demo purpose only. And it's basically for the hobby shops to demo it, for them to put it on the shelves, to get people hyped up about cars coming out. So this was one of the very first ones to roll out in production. And I say the very first ones because NDRC World is actually not that far from Traxxas, so they probably released it and they probably got it quicker than anything. I actually have a video of us unboxing this thing when they first came out, but this is the actual one that Indy got. So we demoed it, they raced it, they played with it on the track, and then it kind of just sat in the hobby shop for a while. And I worked a deal with NDRC World to basically buy it, rebuild it, and they with the intentions of selling it. It also gave me a lot of great content, stuff to look for whenever you buy used cars, things like that. But you can find that all on my channel. So the Rustler 4-wheel drive it's basically a shortened version of the Slash 4x4. When I first saw it come out, I thought it was going to be very similar to a Stampede 4-wheel drive. It is not. It's actually got a different chassis. It's more like the Slash. So this is the bottom of a Slash 4-wheel drive car. Here's the bottom of a Rustler 4-wheel drive car. You can see it's just a little bit shorter, but it's flat. Unlike the Stampede 4-wheel drive, this chassis isn't flat on the bottom. So it's a shortened version of the Slash 4-wheel drive. So the things that I like about this car, the three things I like about this car is, the main thing is it's super easy to drive. Like when I say super easy to drive, I guess I had TSM on the first time, but even without TSM, it just goes. It doesn't like try to throw wheelies like crazy. I guess if you have it geared differently, it will. But the way this is geared right now, it's geared with the high-speed gearing. It's super controllable. I feel like I could just give it over to my son. Whenever at high speeds, it's super stable. There's a little bit of speed wobbles whenever you get close to that 60-mile-an-hour range, but that's more or less because the tires get ballooned. And speaking of, the tires are actually pretty solid. I thought at that speed that the tires would actually blow off, but it's actually super stable and super easy to drive. The other thing I really like about this car is the drivetrain. It's like Traxxas went back and beefed up the drivetrain on this thing. It's a lot bigger and thicker than the Slash 4-wheel drive, and actually it's so big and thick that I was going to sell my son's Traxxas Sluggy because I had problems with him busting drive shafts off all the time at the track. Not all the time, but you know when they get worn. I mean, it did bust off whenever his car broke. It's hard because I got to work on my stuff and I got to work on his stuff. But anyways, with these new drivetrain, these new drive shafts, I'm actually going to put these drive shafts on my son's Sluggy, and dude, these are super duper beefy. I really like them a lot. The last thing I really like about this car is they're really sought out for. I actually bought this thing. I bought it for 200 bucks. I thought I was going to sell it for 250, and I thought that was going to be on the high range of 250, 275. It's at 275 on eBay right now, and it's actually going to sell, you know, usually on eBay, basically the price will just kind of skyrocket up right before the auction ends. I think it will sell like right around the 300 range. So they're super sought out for, and they're super duper easy to sell. They got great resale value. So the things that I don't like about this car, I did say it didn't pop wheelies as easy, and it doesn't pop wheelies as bad. I have the high-speed gearing on there, and I could just kind of go, and it won't pop wheelies. I really got to push to pop wheelies, which is good. Some people like wheelies, but I will say when it does wheelies, the way this wheelie bar is designed, it comes up like super high, like almost completely vertical when it does wheelies, and it's really hard to control. And I mean, eventually, whenever you get to so far back, wind starts catching it, and you have a hard time bringing it back down. So the way it throws wheelies, not a big fan of that. So that's one thing I don't like. The other thing I don't like about this, and this is kind of a really nitpicky thing to say, is I don't really like these center drive shafts. So here's the center drive shaft. It's anodized blue, and it's big and thick, but at least on my other ones, it would have a tendency to bend a little bit whenever the chassis flexed. I guess it wasn't flexible enough where it handled the chassis flex. Also, if anything touches this center drive shaft when it's moving, it basically rips all the anodizing off, and you get like white streaks. So I'm really meticulous with my car, so that really badly bothers me. And the other thing I don't like, the very last thing I don't like about this car, which is still a great car, is they need some help with their steering servos. I wish they had a way to tighten your steering servo. So if you're just bashing around, you're playing around, maybe even just a simple track day, you're not really competitive, not a big deal. It's actually better for your servo because it protects your servo from breaking. However, if you want like good handling on the track and you want it to really be, you want the steering to be rigid, because at those high speeds, whenever your tires are really big, you start to get speed wobbles with the gyro effect. It will actually make your servo saver give. I feel like that constitutes a little bit for the speed wobbles. Not a big fan of the servo saver. And it's the same thing with the slash 4-wheel drive. I used to do the same thing with slash 4x4. I would actually glue the servo saver together, so it was CA glue the servo saver together, so there was no give. The plastic will give before your servo gears will if you have metal servo gears in there. So that's the last thing I don't like about it. So in regards to this car, I am actually selling this. This is actually the last day I'm going to have this car. I'm actually going to package it up as soon as I'm done with this video, and it's going to get sold. It's already on eBay. It's been on eBay since last Sunday. Today is Sunday. Again, it's at $275 with a $30 shipping, so it's going to get at least $305. Hopefully that $275 goes for around $300 and I can get $330 for it. This was a very successful project. It was a lot of fun. It was a really fun project. The only reason, like, I really like this car, but the only reason why I'm selling it is because it was initially a project that I teamed up with Indy on, so I wanted to finish it. And if I do get one, I want that green body. I'm a really big fan of the green body. And when I get mine, I am going to do some upgrades. If it were me and I need to throw some upgrades on it quickly, or as soon as I got it, I really like the anodized turnbuckles, so I'd probably get the Traxxas anodized turnbuckles. I would also get the GTR shocks. Whenever I rebuilt this car, the stock shock shafts were bent. Just goes to show there's kind of a weak spot there. I replaced all the shock shafts, so they're perfectly fine now. I haven't wrecked it since then. But these are the GTR shocks. The GTR shocks are the ones that come on the slash 4-wheel drive Platinum. These are the anodized GTRs. I really like these shocks. They're super smooth, super durable. I want, when I get this car, because I'll probably order one with that green body, because I like the green body, I'm probably going to get shocks, GTR anodized shocks for this car with the turnbuckles. And it's going to be a pretty sweet little just shelf queen slash fun basher whenever I'm driving around with kids. So that's the Traxxas Rustler 4-wheel drive VXL. I hope you liked this video. If you did, I have plenty of other Mark's Garages out there. Smash that like button, subscribe to my channel, turn on the notification bell, and you guys will see me next time. Later, guys.